Hello and assalamu alaikum. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another segment of the Element of Surprise. Today's topic, or boxed in segment, is about time management. And have you ever had a time when you felt boxed in? When it pertains to time management, I'm a stickler for time. I'm always asking the question, what time is it? What time is it? Very seldom do I ask, do you have the time? Because I'm usually around my family or friends, so they know me. They know I'm just going to blurt out, what time is it? They know that I'm going to ask the question, what time is it? I used to wear a watch, and then then all of a sudden cell phones came along. And before a cell phone, I had a beeper or a pager. Oh. And I was able to look at the time as on I was able to look at the time that was on the pager. And don't ask me why did she even carry a pager? Okay. Why did she even have a beeper? Oh my goodness. I wasn't that popular, okay? So I don't even know why I even carried a beeper or a pager. But I had one. So just in case my eldest daughter, she needed to page me, she would have been able to get in contact with me. But it's just funny today. When I think about it, I'm like, what? I wasn't slinging. I wasn't on the corner. I wasn't in the hospital or at home waiting to be paged to go in for surgery, to perform surgery. So I have no idea why I carried a pager or a beeper. But I just want to talk about time management today. And I know, and especially if you've been leaning in for a very long time, you've heard it before. So you're going to hear some things that sound somewhat familiar. Because like I said, I'm a stickler when it comes to time. What time is it? What time is it? I can look at the time and look at the clock again a minute later. Oh, so you have to blame that on my father, okay? Because he was a stickler when it came to time. He was very punctual. And my mother as well, but definitely my father. He was punctual, on time. He wanted to leave early enough where we had a buffer. So this segment, like I said, is about time management. Have you ever felt boxed in? Because there are some people, time, that's not their skill set. It's not their skill set. Time management, it's not their skill set. Time management is not their expertise. So they have no idea. They're just oblivious to time when it comes to time. And I want to give or define time. And everyone, you know what dictionary I use. So I'm just going to give you the definition. It says the measured or measurable period during which an action, process, or condition exists or continues. Duration. Duration. So with time management, you have to be a person that is able to keep up with the time, especially when it comes to being a part of a team. I'm sorry, people. Especially when it comes to a team. We know, when you prepare your resume or when you're working on your resume, you want at least use some of the buzzwords. I call them buzzwords, but in social media is considered tag words. But buzzword for on your resume is time management and a team player, detail oriented. So when they see time management, they say, okay, all right. This individual is able to meet deadlines or deadline. But you have to keep in mind, you said that you were a team player. Maybe you don't use team player, but I'm going to use team player. So that means that you have different or other parts to this, to a project. So you have other moving parts and you have variables to this project. So you have other connecting pieces that's going to connect to this project. So it's just not you saying, well, okay, I know there's a deadline and they said they need it by Friday, no later than 3 p.m. But I have things that I need to do as well. Not understanding that people are actually depending on you to complete your part or your task. It's just not a piece, but it's the whole. So if you're an individual, if you are a person that you have some challenges when it comes to time management, you need to hand it off to someone else or just say, I'm sorry, I'm not the person for this project. I'm not the person for this project. Because when you're dealing with time management or time, you have to make sure that you prepare yourself in order to meet the deadline. So you can't wait to the last minute, or you can't wait until 3 hours before the project is due to now say, well, you know what? I need to work on this. It's crunch time. No, it's not crunch time. It's not crunch time. It's not crunch time. And it's not time where you're going to cram. Okay. Like you're in college and you're studying for an exam or whatever. You can do that in college. But when you're in the real world and you're working for a company and you have, a manager or a supervisor or a direct report, and you have to meet that deadline, and you're talking about the night before or 3 days before, okay, it's crunch time, or I'm a cram. No. No, that's the wrong time. It's the wrong time to try to cram or say it's crunch time. No, you're supposed to work on whatever your assignment is. You're supposed to work on it well before or ahead of time. So if the deadline is on Friday by 3 p.m., you need to make sure you start working on the project, I don't know, a month before or 2 months. Whenever they give you the assignment, You're supposed to start working on the assignment ASAP. 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 Now, my assignment, God said, I want you to wait until the morning of. The morning of. But that's not really realistic when you're in the real world. For me, it is. For me, it's logical. But if you're out there in the workforce and you have, like I said, a project, I don't care what it is. It could be a report, or you need to make sure this building is built in time. You need to make sure that you meet that deadline. You need to make sure that you meet that deadline. So a lot of people, they're dealing with, or they're struggling with time management. And like I said, I'm not going to incorporate the Word of God because the Word of God is just part of me. It's just part of me. So I thought about time management this morning because, like I said, I'm a stickler when it comes to time. I want to do things on time. I don't want to control what's going on, but I need to know that, okay, if I'm working with a team, I need to know that the next individual is actually working on the project as well. Because I can recall when I was taking several courses online for college, and I can recall I had a difficult time with my teammates, if I want to use that term, teammates. Several of them always had an excuse. So it's difficult to complete a project when you have missing parts. That's why some of our students, and they know the ones that procrastinate. They know the procrastinators. So you have a teacher, the teacher says, okay, well, pom-pom, you're going to work with pom-pom 1, pom-pom 2, and pom-pom 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then all of a sudden you hear the student say, oh man, because pom-pom 4 is a procrastinator. Pom-pom 4 is known as a procrastinator. So now you have your overachievers. Now they have to work, and I'm not, please do not take offense, people. But you have your overachievers that they now have to work with some kids. They don't want to do the work. I'm just going to be honest with you. But some kids, they don't want to do the work. They don't want to do their classwork. They don't want to do the homework. But now your teacher say, well, I'm going to team you up with pom-pom 4. And the overachiever's like, oh man, are you kidding me? You're like, are you kidding me? But the overachiever, that's what the individual thinks. Some say it out loud. What? But Miss Pom-Pom, Miss Palmette, or Miss Palmette, but Pom-Pom 4, and the teacher just ignores the Pom-Pom. Because the overachiever is like, but you just teamed me up with Pom-Pom 4. And Pom-Pom 4 is a procrastinator. But Pom-Pom 4 is a procrastinator. But Pom-Pom 4 is a procrastinator. So we need to, excuse me, keep in mind that time affects all of us. Not just one person, but it affects all of us. All of us. And I'm going to read the scripture from Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, and it talks about time. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. That's why I'm trying to look up at the camera and look down, so just bear with me, people. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. What profit hath he that worketh in this wherein he laboreth? I have seen the travail which God hath given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also, he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. So there's a time for everything. A time for everything. There's a time for everything. There's a time for everything. Even when Jesus was in the garden and he was agonizing, because he knew what was ahead of him. And he asked his disciples, he asked them to, can you stay here and pray with me? Can you pray with me? Can you pray with me? And then in one place, he said, can you pray with me 1 hour? So in one scripture, in one verse, he just asked them, can you pray with me? And then in another verse, another scripture, he said, can you pray with me 1 hour? Just 1 hour. 1 hour. 1 hour, not a shut-in, but just 1 hour. He asked them, can you pray with me 1 hour? He didn't say we're going to be in here all night. We're not going to be in the garden all night. But can you just pray with me just 1 hour? Now, this is Jesus. Jesus. Baby Jesus, the 12-year-old Jesus that was sitting amongst the teachers, and he was teaching them and asking questions for all the people, the ones that don't like people asking questions. Jesus was teaching them and asking questions at 12 years old. 12. Okay. For all the people say, he's not ready. She's not ready. 12 years old? He's not ready. Jesus was ready. Jesus was ready. He was ready when he was in Mary's womb. He was ready. But he had to go through the process. He was fully man, fully God. So yes, he had to go through a process. Yes. But he was ready. Even at 12 years old, Jesus was ready. And then when he turned 30 years old, it was around 30 years old, that's when he was like, okay, now it's time for my public ministry. My public ministry. But he was ready. He was ready from day one. From day one, he was ready. He was ready. All about time. What is all about time? But he asked, can you pray with me at least just 1 hour? Just 1 hour. No, this is not, no, we're not having a shut-in. Not today. Not today, because I have something that I need to do. But can you just pray with me just 1 hour? 1 hour. Jesus was talking about time management. He was talking about time. Time. In the garden. And everyone, some people are always talking about, it's my season. 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 Yes, it's my season. Yep, it's my season. It's hey. It's my season. It's my season. Really? But do you know how to tell time? That's all I want to know. Do you know how to tell time? Do you know how to tell time? Do you have a problem with time management? Do you have a problem with time management? That's all well and fine. It's your season. That's fine. It is your season. But do you have a problem with time management? Because there's a season for everything. So when it's time for you to be quiet, is it still your season? When it's time for you to love, is it still your season? Or do you have a problem with time management? Is it still your season when it's time to embrace and then a time to stop embracing? Is it still your season? Or do you have a problem with time management? Because before we can say it's our season, it's our season, it's our season, God is actually working on us. He's allowing us to go through a process. Before your season. And please do not take offense, people, because I sing the song, okay? So it's not about an individual. This is about time management. And I go right, and I use the Bible as my backup, the Word of God. So this is not about a song or individual. It's about, there's a time and season for everything. For everything. So have you ever felt boxed in to, or almost to a place where you want to just throw up your hands? Have you ever had a time when you just want to throw up your hands because you were dealing with time? Because what we don't understand is we're wasting away. And I'm not using that in a negative way. We're wasting away, but thank goodness God is continuing to refresh us. And I'm talking about our spirit man. We're getting older day by day. And that's all about time. That's all about time. I think there's a song that says, I think it goes, time keep on ticking, ticking, ticking. I think into the future or something like that. So if you think that time isn't a part of our daily lives, You're missing it. And I said missing. That means it's continual. You continue to miss it. You continue to miss it. So we have to get to a place or do a self-examination or a self-assessment and say, okay, what do I need to do to help me to manage my time? To manage my time. And some people don't understand that you can work from home or you can go out into the workforce and work for a company. And you can have a work from home, or you can work at home and still be as exhausted as somebody or someone that actually went to an office, worked in an office. And especially when you have a unique gift from God. We all have a gift. We all have a gift. And I say gift, in the singular, because God has given us at least one gift. There's some people that have multiple gifts, many gifts. But we at least have one gift. So that's why I use it in the singular. But God is saying that we need to work on our time management. Time management. Now, with my gift, God deals with me in such a way that I can do this for about an hour. I can do it all day. I enjoy this, I really do, but I have a family. I have a family. I have children. And then the things that God reveals to me, I have to deal with that as well. So it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Not meaning that I'm tired. Yes, I'm tired. I'm human. I'm not a superhuman. But it's exhausting spiritually. In the natural, I can go about my day. It doesn't matter if I'm sitting down watching a show or whatever. God is he's still dealing with me. He's still dealing with me. He's still talking to me. So spiritually, it can become exhausting. And I'm saying that in a good way, because I know some people, because there was a time, and back in the day, it was a no-no to say that you were exhausted and tired. Especially when you worked in the church. Not meaning a position in the church or a title in the church, but I'm talking about the lay members, the ones that were actually out in the vineyard. The ones that were doing things behind the scenes. It was a no-no to say that you were exhausted. I used to say it. For the longest, I would never ever say that I was tired. Never. I didn't hear my parents say that they were tired. Because for some apparent reason, if we said that we were tired, it meant that we wasn't really respecting God, and we were saying in so many words that we were tired. Oh God, I glorify your name, of God's work. So it was just unspoken, an unspoken rule. We never said that we were tired. I never heard my parents say they were tired. Never. And I know there were times they were tired, but I never heard them say they were tired. It was just a mindset of the saints of old. They felt that they were in the vineyard and they were doing God's work. So it was unheard of to say that you were tired, because they thought that it meant that you were tired of doing God's work, doing his work. Not knowing that it was okay for them to say that they were tired. So I think it was in 2015, I finally said, I'm tired. I can recall I was on my face. Well, I was actually sitting on the floor. I wasn't on my face at that time, but I can recall that day I was sitting on the floor. It was a hardwood floor, and I called my eldest daughter. It took me until 2015 to say, I'm tired. And of course you're going to be tired if you've had a long day, a long work day. But I was saying that I was tired in my spirit. I was tired. I said, I'm tired. I finally said, I'm tired. And like I said, I've never heard my parents say that they were tired. Never. So I finally said that I was tired in 2015. And it's okay to say that you're tired. It's okay to say that you're exhausted. Because people that they have this, they're putting up this front or facade like you're super. We're not super. Jesus, he was fully God and fully man. Was and still is. But there were times that he was tired. Because he had a busy schedule. His itinerary was jam-packed. Jam-packed. He had people that loved him. And then he had people that opposed him. So he had to deal with that. That was spiritual warfare as well. So there were times that he had to, the saints of old used to say, still away. There were times that he had to separate himself from the crowd. It's all about time management. Time management. There's a time for everything. God, he doesn't slumber. He doesn't sleep. But when Jesus was walking the earth, he slept. He slept. I don't know why people, they have this image of Jesus always walking around all day, especially when he was on earth, all day. They have this image of him not resting or taking out some time for himself. And there are some people, they are at the brink of collapsing. From just exhaustion. Because they have a problem with time management. And I know there's some parents that work in 3 and 4 jobs. I understand. Trust me, I understand. It is a necessity because you need to provide for your family and your babies. I understand. However, you still need to take out some time for yourself. You need to take out some time for yourself. You need to block out some time for yourself. It's called time management. God said there's a time and season for everything. Everything. Including rest. Including rest. There was one time back in the day, the church folk, they thought that they had to be in church 24/7. 24/7. 24/7. 24/7. Yes, God, he's supposed to be first. Absolutely. First. Then your family. Then your congregation. That's if you have a congregation. But God's supposed to be first. He's supposed to be first. But back in the day, they had this mindset that you had to be in church 24/7. And if you wasn't in church 24/7, that means that you're not doing the work of the Lord. Not understanding that because of that time management problem or concern, there were other areas that suffered. I'm not going to say what areas, but there were other areas that suffered because of time management. There were other areas that went lacking because of time management. Because of time management. So time just isn't about one individual. Time management affects all of us. All of us. If we're late for work, then we're trying to catch up. And I'm speaking from my personal experience, because there were times I was late for work. Yes, there were times I was late for work, especially. Anyway, there were times I was late for work and I was always on time. But then all of a sudden, I started being late for work. Not all the time, but I was late for work. That's all I can say. I was late for work, and I was like, oh God, I'm late for work. And I always sent a text message or tried to call, not ignore it, like I get there when I get. No. I always made sure that I would call or send a text message or an email, because my mother said, she always told us, you better make sure you cover yourself. That's how she used to say it. Make sure you're able to cover yourself. So if someone has a question about whatever, you have proof. You have some type of proof. I texted you, I called you, and I emailed you. Because guess what? It happened to me. Well, we didn't receive your call. Wait a minute now. But I called. Well, I didn't get your email. Oh, wait a minute now. But I sent one. Well, I didn't get your text message. Oh, hold on. I did send you one. So you should be able to go right to your file or your archive folder and find whatever you need to find. So you make sure you cover yourself. You're able to cover yourself. But time management affects all of us. So if a store opens up late, a few minutes late, it affects all of us. Especially me. Because I wake up early. And if a store said the time is, it opens at 9 a.m. and I'm still standing outside and it's 9:10, I'm frustrated. I'm not to the point where I'm like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? But I just look at the time and say, well, they said it's supposed to open at 9 o'clock and it's 9:10. What is going on? What is going on? I see the lights are on. I see people walking around. What are they doing? They need to come and unlock the door. The lights are on, the people that are walking around, and they're looking at us. The people that's in the parking lot are the ones that's standing at the door. And they're looking at us like, why are you here? We're here because it said that you open up at 9 a.m. and now it's 9:10 and we're still waiting. It's all about time management. Because you have no idea, maybe somebody like me, because all of a sudden you're looking, you're like, oh God, I have a hole in my doggone t-shirt. So you try to run to a store that you know that opens early, that opens up early, and you try to get a $2 or $3 t-shirt. You're trying to purchase a $2 or $3 t-shirt so you can go ahead to, I don't know, work or to some type of event. So you're messing up my time. into my time. It's all about time management. So it affects all of us. Time management affects all of us in one way. It really does, especially when you send an email or a notification saying that you're going to receive a package at a certain time, between a certain time or on a certain day, and you're looking for the package. No, you're not standing at the door. No, back in the day, maybe, but no. But you're waiting, and you're waiting, and you're waiting, and you're waiting. You're looking like they said that this package was supposed to arrive today between 1 and 2. Now it's 5 o'clock. Someone is dealing with a time management issue. And oh my goodness, have you ever felt so boxed in that you're trying to get, I have to say it. I'm sorry, I have to say it. Cable. Oh, you're trying to get cable. So you're like, okay, I know, it's all I can afford right now is just the basic, okay? The basic. That's it. Basic. And you need to make sure that I'm able to watch or I have at least local news. And I can watch my national news as well. Okay. So I need to make sure you have a certain channel or certain station, whatever term you want to use. Back in the day, they used to say, okay, all right. Well, all I can tell you is the technician or the installer is going to be there between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. 8 and 5 p.m. Time management. So back in the day, you used to have to take an entire day. You had to take off a day. You had to take off a day just to get cable. Because you really wasn't sure what time the installer was going to show up, or the technician. You wasn't really sure. And God forbid you didn't want to miss him or her. So you're like, oh God, I know, I need to go to the bathroom, but I don't want to miss God. I don't want to miss this. I don't want to miss the cable guy or cable person. I'm going to say person. But back in the day, it was mainly men. But I don't want to miss the cable person. So I'm just going to sit right here and wait. We used to have to wait all day. Okay, so what time? What time do you think? Well, all I can say is he's going to show up or between 8 and 5 p.m. And I used to say between 8 and 5. Yes, between the hours of 8 and 5 p.m. They couldn't even give you a window of maybe 2 hours or 3 hours. They said sit there all day. Wait all day for basic cable. I don't care if it was basic or if you had the premium. Doesn't matter. You're like, I have to sit here all day. And with me, I can't sit all day. I sit idle. I try. God knows I try. I've been trying for years. For years. So time management affects us all. It affects all of us. It affects all of us. So you used to have to take a vacation day just to get basic cable. And there were times when the individual didn't even show up. And this is my personal experience. And I'm not screaming and yelling like I'm angry. I'm sorry. I'm just excited. I'm just excited because I'm telling the truth. I can recall the person didn't even show up. Especially if you had like a repair ticket, you put in a repair ticket, the individual didn't even show up. But I sat there all day. And I tried my best not to leave the house or go to the bathroom too long, use the bathroom too long, maybe do laundry and I didn't hear the technician, or sometimes they didn't even show up. So you took a vacation day to sit at home and wait for someone to repair your cable. Oh my God. So it's all about time management. It's all about time management. So then what happens is you're unable to maybe run your errands. You have a child you need to pick up from daycare or from school. And I pray that you prioritize what's important, okay? And your child should be at the top of the list. I could care less about that doggone cable. Your child should be at the top of the list. You just have to call back and reschedule. Another day when the person can come out and repair your cable. Your children should always be at the top of your list. Don't choose cable and then your child or your children or your babies. But it's all about time management. So when you start something late, maybe you have several places that you said, well, you know what, I'm going to go and some people say I'm just going to show my face, or, I just want to say hello. So if you start your cookout or your barbecue, you said it was going to start at 1 p.m. However, it didn't start until 5 p.m. You said my barbecue is at 1, but you didn't start the barbecue until 5 p.m. So now you have actually caused your guest to now have to rework their schedules. Because they said they were going to go and visit Pom Pom for a little while, and then they were going to go and see Pomette. But because of your time management challenges, now they're only able to just visit one person. There's a time and season for everything. And we're all linked together. I don't care where you live or who you are. We're all linked together. And we're linked together by time. By time. Doesn't matter what time zone you're in. We're all linked together by time. Some of us, we have to get up very early. But we're still linked together by time. And it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing how God works. It's amazing. Some of us, we have to get up early. Some people, they have to stay up late. But we're all linked by time. We're all linked by time. So this is my boxed in segment. This is my boxed in segment, about time management. Time management. Time management. My parents taught us, especially when we didn't have a vehicle. Make sure you're ready. If someone's going to pick you up, somebody said, I'm going to pick you up, you better make sure you're ready. Do not allow the person that's going to pick you up to have to sit and wait on you. I'm telling you, they were adamant about that. Adamant. They were adamant. They were adamant. They said, you better make sure you're ready. You don't want the individual that's going to pick you up to have to sit outside and wait for you. And I must confess that I'm guilty. Not in the past, but as of late. My sister, she said something, she said something about be ready one day. And I wasn't ready. I was ready, but I wasn't ready. So I have to tell the truth because it starts with me. So I really wasn't ready. I had all my luggage and my suitcases in the living room, but I wasn't ready. Because I was actually packing a snack. I'm old school. I'm just old school. So I was packing a snack, a lunch. I was just packing food because I was like, we're going on a trip. So I need to pack a snack and something to eat. I'm old school. But she asked me to be ready, and I wasn't ready, and she wasn't happy about it. I can't help it. My mother, when it was time for us to go on a trip, a road trip, she would prepare the fried chicken the night before, or she would wake up early in the morning and she would fry the chicken early in the morning, and then she would let it cool a little bit. And sometimes she didn't really let it cool, but then she would put that doggone fried chicken in between some white bread, okay? Some white sliced bread. Because the chicken, oh my God. And it was during the time when the chicken was so hot that it would actually almost melt the bread. So the bread almost looked like it turned into glue. But that's when you knew that this is a chicken sandwich, okay? And then she would put it in aluminum foil, wrap it up in aluminum foil. Individual sandwiches, not just in a bowl, no, individual sandwiches, chicken sandwiches. And she would put the chicken sandwiches in a brown paper bag. Old school brown paper bags, they lasted for 10 years. 10 or 20 years. I'm talking about the old school brown paper bags. They used to last for at least 20 years before the new reusable shopping bags, the ones that I carry. Back in the day, we could use that same brown paper bag over and over and over again. You just need to make sure there was no grease on the bag, because if there was grease, my mother would put it in the trash can. No. But it was all about time management. Time management. So I'm the type that I need to pack a snack or a lunch or dinner or something because we're going on a trip, a road trip. So my mother, she would fry the chicken. She would, the potato salad she would make the night before, the coleslaw she would make the night before. And then she would just pack everything the morning of. But she didn't wait till the last minute. But it was all about time management. Time management. So I must confess that yes, as of late, I was like, oh man, it's not often. But that day I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. But I try my best to make sure that I'm ready. I don't even care if I'm the driver. I want to make sure I'm ready, because I said I'm going to pick you up at a certain time. I want to make sure that I'm there on time. on time, on time. But you don't want someone to wait on you, especially, you don't want someone waiting on you, especially when the person is doing you a favor. The individual is doing you a favor. So now the driver is waiting. The driver has to wait on you. They have to wait on you, and the pilot, maybe your golf buddy, they're in the doggone golf cart now. They have to wait on you. Maybe you're gonna go hunting with your buddy or your pal, and now they have to wait on you. Now all of a sudden, instead of you going hunting, now you have become the hunted. Now they have to hunt you down. Now they have to hunt you down. Now you become the hunted. No, you're not the hunter. Now you become the hunted. Now they have to hunt you down. Well, where is he? We've been waiting out here in this truck for a very long time. You know we like to go in the woods early. You know we like to go into the woods pretty early, like 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning. Because we need to find our tree, our perch. Now you have people waiting on you. Now you become the hunted. So we must keep in mind, we need to keep in mind that we're all linked together by time. By time. By time. It's not your stage or your status, but we're all linked by time. So this is my boxed in segment. And I hope I said something that was encouraging. I just hope that I said something that was encouraging. We are all linked by time and in time as well. And we all have a season. We all have a season. Doesn't matter what season you're in. We all have a season. But we must remember it's all about time. It's all about time. It's all about time. Because Jesus is soon to return again. In the Word of God, it even says that he doesn't even know the time. He doesn't even know the time. God knows, but Jesus doesn't even know the time. We're all linked together by time and in time. Because we can use the term or the word time. This is my time. This is my time. This is my season. This is my time. This is my time. This is my time. I feel it. I feel it. This is my time. So we're all linked by time and in time. So this is my boxed in segment. And my Kindle kicker, it actually is about time. So my Kindle kicker, my boxed in segment and my Kindle kicker was actually about time. And I just married the two today. So with me, it's going to vary. It's going to vary. So today, my topic today, my boxed in / Kindle kicker was about time. Time management. Have you ever dealt with time management? And the Kindle kicker was actually about my mom, with her preparing a snack, a food for a road trip. And the examples of people, certain people, they have to wait on you. A pilot, your hunting buddy. Maybe your golfing friend. So that was this is my Kindle kicker for today. Time management. It's all about time. It's all about time. It's all about time. So thank you very much for watching and listening. And the reason why I say watching and listening is because there are sometimes that I watch a video, but sometimes I can't really hear what they're saying or what an individual is saying because of maybe I'm in a place where I can't really listen. So I have to mute it or turn the volume down, but I'm still watching the video. And then when it's appropriate, then I'll listen to it when it's the right time. So I just want to say thank you very much, and I appreciate each and every one of you for, like I said, listening and watching. And if you want to donate to my ministry, my Cash App is $ or money sign Nicole, Nicole, the number 91 in capital WA. And I will continue to pray that God will bless you 100-fold, whoever you are. I pray that He will continue to bless you. And thank you, and have a great day. God bless.